Imagine a single, massive, boundless world shared by elves, dragons, giants, dwarves, demons, and countless other extraordinary beings. Despite the chaos of so many different species living side by side, there is a hard biological rule that keeps the ecosystem from collapsing. Every race has an absolute peak, one singular entity who represents the absolute maximum potential of their kind. The gap in power between these peak entities and the rest of their people is so massive that it commands total reverence. Elves bow to theirs. Dragons swallow their pride and submit. Even spirits and demons recognize the one among them who simply cannot be beaten. In this ecosystem, the survival of an entire race depends on the visible presence of these immortal apexes. Their existence ensures that their people remain unified, anchored by the strength of a leader who cannot be challenged from within. Humans have one of these peak entities too, but there is a glaring anomaly in how humanity treats him. Nobody actually knows who he is. Unlike elves or dragons, humans have incredibly short lifespans. Generations turn over rapidly. Cities rise, fall, and turn to dust, and the time it takes an ancient dragon to take a nap. Because of this rapid turnover, historical facts quickly degrade. The identity of the human apex shifts with each era, fading into a mess of nameless, half-remembered myths. He essentially operates as a hidden failsafe. He leaves no permanent records and only ever steps out of the shadows when humanity is pushed to the brink of extinction. Once the threat is neutralized, he vanishes again. While immortal predators watch the world with calculated precision, humanity continues forward, entirely unaware that their own survival is being secured by a shadow they have forgotten how to name. You might think a short lifespan is a biological weakness, especially compared to beings that live for millennia. But the brevity of human life forces a completely different, highly aggressive evolutionary strategy. The immortal races rely on stagnant, unchanging traditions. Humans do not have that luxury. This timeline compares racial progress, showing how humans stack knowledge upon knowledge at a blistering pace. While ancient races progress in a flat, predictable line, humans cross boundaries, forging hybrid disciplines along an exponentially branching tech tree of advanced technology, elemental magic, and martial auras. This relentless drive to adapt makes humanity incredibly difficult for the ancient races to anticipate. Their growth is a constant process of layering new disciplines onto old ones, ensuring their next move is never the same as their last. The very trait the ancient races dismissed as a flaw, a fleeting existence, acts as an engine for uncontrollable exponential growth. To the oldest beings in the world, that rapid expansion started to look like a threat to the global status quo. Watching this rapid expansion, two of the oldest and most powerful factions, the spirits and the demons, they couldn't afford to wait and see what humans would invent next, launching a preemptive conspiracy. Their logic was straightforward: engineer a biological hybrid that could outpace and permanently subjugate the human race. Fusing their very essences together, they created a child born of both spirit and demon. The results defied even their own projections. From the moment it was born, the hybrid absorbed and generated raw power at a rate that bypassed normal biological limits entirely. The ancient races thought they were designing a leash for humanity. Instead, their hubris introduced a wildly unstable variable into the ecosystem, one they had absolutely no mechanism to control. With that rapid accumulation of power came an equally rapid psychological side effect. As the hybrid's strength expanded, an unshakable, absolute arrogance took root. It quickly abandoned the original mission of suppressing humans. It looked at its own power, looked at its creators, and decided it was superior to every single race on the planet. The global balance of power completely fractured. The hybrid's ambitions crossed from quiet superiority into active, hostile conquest. The conflict escalated rapidly, and the sheer destructive force of the hybrid pushed humanity straight to the precipice of total extinction. In their desperate attempt to cap human potential, the spirits and demons had accidentally engineered a global apocalypse scenario.
That threat of imminent extinction was the exact trigger condition required to activate humanity's failsafe. The forgotten protector finally stepped out of the shadows. The conflict ended almost as soon as it began. The hybrid weapon vanished in the time it took for the human protector to step into the light, leaving only a clear sky where a godlike threat had stood moments before. Witnessing this absolute victory shattered the immortal race's entire understanding of the global hierarchy. The rumors they had dismissed as human folklore were suddenly standing right in front of them as verifiable reality. In the immediate aftermath, a gathering took place that would never appear in any human history book. The absolute peaks of every race convened for a summit, and they formally introduced the human apex, known from then on as the Master Sage. This schematic illustrates how, for the first time, a human took a seat as an exact equal among immortal rulers. The summit established a new geopolitical doctrine. Unrestricted war was replaced by mandatory dialogue among the apexes whenever conflicts arose. But as the human generation turned over once more, the records faded. The cities where the protector stood were buried, and the Master Sage slipped back into the fog of myth, forgotten by the very people he saved. Humanity continues to move forward in blissful ignorance. The global peace holds solely because of a massive asymmetry in memory. Humanity has forgotten their savior, but the immortal races are too terrified to ever do the same.